People say that when you attend weddings back to back, it's a sign that your wedding is close. Meanwhile, I've attended 3 weddings in the last 3 months. First, I was a bridesmaid.
I go round and round, satellite. Ta ló bá mi rọ́mọ, pretty baby mi. Mo ní pé ọmọ dùn, ọmọ tán, ọmọ fakọyọ. Mo ní kó sọ́mọ náà, pretty darling mi. Ẹni sẹ́ ọmọ dùn, ọmọ tán, ọmọ náà pa. Ara ẹ̀ bá ń gan ni o, lédè lẹ́wà.
Then I attended a private wedding, and just last week I attended a very big wedding in Lagos. Does that mean that I'm ready to get married? Let's talk about it. Marriage is one of those things that I just considered was so far from me because I'm 23. What am I thinking about marriage? I started uni as a teenager, and because of how long medical school is, sometimes it just makes you feel like you're still a child, like you're a student. So marriage is not just something you be thinking about. I mean, there are other things to think about, like what you're going to eat tomorrow, how you're going to pass your exam. But recently, it has felt like so many people are starting to talk about marriage a lot more now, because I think so many people are starting to get married early. I've always dreamt about getting married when I was 25. I always used to say, oh, I'll finish medical school at 22, because 22 is actually the age I was meant to finish medical school. And when I'm done with med school, I'll give myself 3 years and I'll get married and I'll have all my children before I'm 30. I'm sure Asu was just looking at me like, oh, you bet. Okay, girl, let's see. This makeup I'm doing, you guys should not use it as a tutorial or anything, because it's vibes. I feel like there's an increasing trend in people getting married early. And I mean, early is very relative. 18 is early to some people. Some people's early is 25, some people's early is 30, some people's early is 22. But I think there's been an increase in people getting married in their early 20s. So I'm saying 22, 23, 24, 25. And in the days of our parents, like my mom got married when she was 22. So she had me when she was actually 22. And I'm like, so last year me was a wife in those days. Jesus Christ, I can't wrap my head around it. And in those days, there's so many examples. There are people like Omotola Jalade. She got married at 18 or 19. I can't even remember, but it was really early. A lot of your moms, your aunties, all those elderly people, our parents' generation, they used to get married really early, because in those days, they never really waited for education. It was really a get out of high school, marry. And most people actually went to uni in their husbands' houses. People used to get married at 18, have children. Like some people have all their children before they're even 25. That's wild to me. But then after that age, in the coming generations, it now became a thing where people started to get okay with getting married much later. So getting married at 30 is no longer an abomination like it used to be, right? People started getting okay with the idea of getting a master's, working a little bit. It wasn't really a get out of high school and get married situation. Women were getting empowered, women were getting educated, and so the goalpost kind of shifted. So you were now seeing more marrying at 27, marrying at 28, 30 plus, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But recently, people that I know are starting to get married, my acquaintances, my friends. I'm like, girl, you guys are actually making this kind of big decision in your lives. I mean, we see examples like my pastor, Pastor Emmanuel Iren and Pastor Laju Iren. They both got married when they were 24 and 23, or 25 and 24. I'm not very sure. There's Ezine Zara. Ezine got married when she was 23. I mean, we're just beginning to see more examples of people who are in their early 20s making this decision. And contrary to what most people think, these people are actually building godly homes. Like they are actually in good marriages. They're not suffering at all. Recently, I saw a tweet where this girl said she got married to her husband. They just got married recently and they are both 23. And I was like, hmm? You were both what? Because even when I imagined like people getting married early, it was mostly the girls getting married early, and the guys would already be like in their late 20s at least, but the girls would be younger, right? But both 23? I was like, oh, wow. And this increase in the rate of people getting married early, getting engaged at 22, 23, 24, 25, it has two effects on me. Number one, it's making me realize that, girl, you're not a child. You're not a child. You are a grown adult. Yes, you're a student, but you're not a child anymore. Like, I'm just more aware of the fact that, yes, I might be in school, and school might be shielding me from a lot of the problems and issues that adulthood comes with. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm actually an adult and I need to start taking responsibility for some of my decisions. I need to start making important decisions. And this part about taking responsibility and making decisions is actually not difficult for me because I'm the first child. It's something that I grew up doing. So even as a teenager, I used to make important decisions. I'm used to taking responsibility. So it doesn't seem too difficult. The second effect it has on me, however, is that it's putting a lot of financial pressure. God, for you to get married, there's a level of financial responsibility and stability that you would have attained. So when I see people getting married at 22, 23, I'm like, I'm guessing and hoping that you're getting married with a level of financial stability. At least you can fend for yourself comfortably and even add jara for someone else. And obviously, I know that not everyone is getting married very rich. I know so many people are just going based on instruction, and it's honestly just faith, and God is providing, right? I know that that happens as well. But I still feel like there's a level of financial stability and responsibility that someone has. And that's the part that puts a lot of pressure on me because I'm like, okay, this person gets married at 25. When I'm 25, will I be able to afford a wedding? Will I be able to afford not even the full wedding, but like to do certain things to get the wedding of my dreams? Like, and so far, it doesn't look like it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, you guys. What age do you think you want to get married? Do you feel like you're pressured by all this talk about marriage that has been happening amongst people in their early 20s, especially in the church? Just talk to me because sometimes I think about these things and I just want to be sure that I'm normal, all right? But at the end of the day, if you're a Christian, I need to realize that everybody's life, the timing of your life, God's plan for you is we have different timelines, okay? So just because someone is getting married at 23 and at 26, it looks like they are here, right? It doesn't mean that you are any backwards if you're not doing the exact same things at that age, if that makes any sense. Different timelines, just get comfortable with God's will for you, like I always say, so that you don't put yourself under unnecessary pressure because you don't even want to get married to the wrong person just because you want to marry. That's worse. The final thing I want to say is marriage is about purpose and it's not just vibes, okay? So a lot of these people who are Christians and you see getting married really early, a lot of times it's because God has a plan for that. Some of them actually move based on instruction. Like God actually tells some people, get married now. Like it's important, most times it's important for the assignment and it's really not about them. And it's something I'm trying to wrap my head around. Like, okay, God, whether it's early, whether it's not early, whether it's just in the middle, I want to just do it according to your timeline. I want to do it purposefully. So it's not just about getting married. So start seeing marriage as more as a thing of purpose than a thing of I just want to do a nice wedding and get it over it.